Recently, there has been many worrying reports from Iran regarding human rights situation in the country. How would you view that, and what are your concerns, please?
When President Rouhani was first elected, we were told that he was a moderate. But instead of just judging the rhetoric, we need to look at the reality. And the reality is that we've seen more people executed under his regime than ever before. 2,300 people have been executed, including juveniles, something that the international community certainly does not accept. But in addition to that, in the last year, 966 people have also been executed, something again that the international community does not accept. In addition to that, there's been an increase in capital punishment. Not only are people hung, but also people are subject to flogging, amputation, and all kinds of other horrendous atrocities, including eye gouging. Kind of examples of torture we have not seen since the Middle Ages in the Western countries.
Thank you. And the next question, the crackdown increasing execution, as you mentioned, and persecution of families of activists and members of the opposition, the PMI in Iran, all happen as there many Iranian cities have seen large and repeated protests against the regime. Is there any relation between these, and why is the regime responding with repression? Please.
As has been seen in other countries in the Middle East, most notably Syria, the regime will always rise up against the people. And it has done this because it realizes that its tenure is insecure. They realize that the power lies with the people, and as such they need to take these draconian measures, including abductions, executions and imprisonment, to ensure that the people don't have a popular uprising and actually take over the mullahs regime.
Thank you. What is your view on intervention in the region and missile program? Tehran's intervention in the region and missile program. Intervention.
I remain very concerned about the intentions of the Iranian nuclear capability program. This is something that I spoke out against when the deal was first concluded. I said that I believe that Iran will continue for a nuclear weapon. I could see that through not only the increase in the centrifuging of the nuclear capability, but also the continuing testing of ballistic missiles. This showed to me that the deal was not a real priority in the minds of President Rouhani and indeed the ruling mullahs. I believe they will continue to seek a nuclear solution to their problem within the area, and we must stop them from doing so.
Thank you. What is your view about the role of IRGC and situations under the supreme leader's control in the Iranian economy?
The IRGC remains a very malign force within Iran. We know this through their activities in both Lebanon and Syria. Most recently, President Rouhani, who we were told was a moderate, has actually applauded the actions of Ghassem Soleimani, the leader of the force within the region. This is not acceptable. We know that they are interfering in other sovereign governments, and we know they are continuing to fund terrorism in the region. And as such, this should not be accepted, and that's why we should reimpose sanctions upon the country.
You supported recent statements condemning human rights situation in Iran, and also your concern about Camp Liberty. Can you explain about this, please?
Right. Once more. Hang on, let me just think. After the most recent attack against Camp Liberty, I made representations to the Foreign Office here in London. This is a great source of concern for many people, not only in this country, but also in the wider world. Many of us have made our feelings known that we will not allow the IRGC to use its proxy in Iraq to continue attack the camp and its inhabitants. We must ensure that the process continues, that those people who are inhabitants there are able to relocate from the camp to places of safety, either in the United Kingdom the United States or any other part of the world that they can seek asylum.
Thank you. What's your view about the protection Camp Liberty until they have been relocated safe countries, until the last person who are still in the camp?
So what's the question, sorry?
What's your view about the necessity of protection by United Nations, United States, who promised for the protection during the process of the relocation until the last person remains?
I would like to see an international force such as the UN seek the protection of those people who remain in Camp Liberty. They remain not only at the mercy of the IRGC, but also the proxies from Iraq. They remain unable to access medical facilities. They remain at the mercy of rocket attacks. We must ensure their protection. We have an international duty to do so, and any attacks against the camp are an act of barbarity against humanity.
Thank you. In your view, is there any viable alternative to the current theocracy in Iran? And does the Iranian people's democratic opposition has a voice, please?
Iran has been a nation state for the last 37 years. During that time, many people have been oppressed from providing any kind of alternative to the current regime. But there is an alternative. There is an alternative in the form of Madam Rajavi and the NCRI. And that's why on the 9th of July, I and many of my colleagues from around the world will be joining Madam Rajavi in Paris. At the annual conference, of which I attended last year, we shall hear how her 10-point plan can make the country better. Not only will there be many diaspora from all parts of the world, there will be politicians from America, the Middle East, the EU, and indeed other further afield countries. So I urge everyone to attend and let your voice be heard. We can show the mullahs, we can show the regime, and we can show President Rouhani there is an alternative to his regime, and change will come.
Thank you very much.
Okay?
Very much.